And we are live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smoke, joined by Bobby and Jay. It is Wednesday. You are listening to the Smoke Show. It is Jets week, and let's just get right into it because I don't want to sit here and play any games. I hate stupid people. I hate hypocrites. I just hate people that just want to talk out of their ass and just bullshit their way through life. I can't stand it, and I cannot stand the national media sitting here and talk about Tua Tagovailoa like he's the first NFL player to ever have a concussion in his entire life. I saw Jason Whitlock go up there yesterday saying he should retire. He should retire. I think he called him Joe Glass or compared him to some schmuck in a Mike Tyson video game from 1985, saying he had a glass jaw and he's 1 in 99. This is Tua's first concussion, pal. He's not the first player to have a concussion. T. Higgins had a concussion, played the next week. I mean, we are talking about players. You could even go back in the day. They would get concussions, take a rip of smelling salts, and they'd be back on the freaking field ready to go. But now all of a sudden, people want to act like concussions are a new thing to the NFL and that they should retire. Then everyone in the league that gets a freaking concussion should stop playing football. You should just cancel the game. You should stop the NFL. Oh, you get a concussion. Oh, you should retire. You should retire. You got a concussion. You should retire. Everyone that's had a concussion in the NFL this year has played the following week, except Tua, because it's rules for thee, not me. And the Dolphins were always the limelight. Everyone's looking at how can we screw over the Miami Dolphins. This is the new PR stunt. And the NFL firing that doctor, that's an scapegoat. There's no lawsuits going on. There's no further investigation going on. It's all a bunch of hoopla. And to be honest with you, I know McDaniel said he doesn't make decisions based on optics. That's the first time I think he's ever lied to us. This is 100% optics. Tua could play if he wanted to. If you walked up to Tua right now and said, can you play? He would say yes. If you walked up to the Miami Dolphins doctors and said, did Tua clear a concussion protocol? They will say yes. Now, if new evidence comes out and that's not the case, so be it. I'll be the asshole. But my God, this better not go over another freaking week because it is bullshit. And then everyone wants to sit here and tell this man to retire. Joe Burrow's had concussions. Do you tell him to retire? Teddy Bridgewater's had concussions. Do you tell him to retire? I mean, I should have been more prepared and brought up every list of quarterback that's had a freaking concussion in their career. But I could bet you they didn't retire, except Andrew Luck. Who retired at his freaking peak. But for everyone to be coming after this kid and telling him to retire is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care how you feel about Tua. I don't care if you like him, if you don't like him. The kid's a damn warrior. He always battles back, and he always wants to be on the field. And if you think he went through hip rehab, broken ribs, broken thumb, all this, and you think a concussion is what's going to get him to retire, you are out of your gosh darn mind, because that is the last thing that's going to make this man stop playing football. And I don't care, all you head doctors out there on Twitter, you could just shove it right up your ass, bro, because I am not buying it for a second, and I fully expect him to be back on that field next Sunday, the latest, against the Minnesota Vikings.
I mean, bro, he plays football. We were talking about football players. They know the risks when they go on that field. It's a dangerous game. Injuries happen. That is what it is. These guys they know all this information. They've internalized this information, and they've made the decision that I'd like to play football. So when you play football, shit like this comes with it. And Smoke already highlighted, man, it's a concussion. Is the optics a little bad because he left on a stretcher and it was a Thursday night game? Absolutely. It doesn't look great. But I mean, Teddy Bridgewater himself had a concussion, left on a stretcher. He's got a fine and great career afterwards. He's healthy. He's playing. He's good. I mean, all these guys, T. Higgins, like Smoke said, every player, these guys are getting concussions and then they're playing the next week. And people want this guy to retire from football. Like, that is the most asinine, terrible, stupid, dumb take I've heard in a really long time. Because he got a concussion, he should retire from football. If that's your opinion and that's what you think, then your opinion should be football shouldn't exist anymore. Because as long as football is going to go on, concussions are going to keep happening. No matter how safe we try and make the game, it's just a reality of the sport that we love to watch is a violent sport. It is what it is. These guys made the right decision. They're getting paid handsomely for it. And it is what it is. You move on. And if you don't think that other guys, when they get concussions, like Smoke said, Joe Burrow, he admitted to playing several games with concussions, blacking out on the sidelines, not knowing where he was. These guys are warriors that want to be in the game helping their football team. So if they can do what they can to get in and play, they're going to do it. Should maybe the precautions and some of the concussion protocol, should they beef that up as an NFL standard? Maybe. You could have an argument there, but that's completely different than saying this guy should retire from football because he got a concussion. Like, grow up. Grow up with that BS. Go watch soccer. Go watch some fucking soccer. No disrespect to soccer. I love soccer.
Or basketball. I love basketball.
Or basketball. Do that. Go watch baseball. Go watch a non-contact sport because we like football and we like guys getting crushed. It comes with the territory. It is what it is. We obviously want to see everyone stay healthy and be good to go and live long, healthy, happy lives. But it kind of is what it is. You know what you're getting yourself into with football, dude. It's crazy.
This is a great point, Huff Studios, and I meant to bring this up in my opening statement. People are accepting less money for more risk in the world. Firefighters, policemen, first responders, they could lose their life anytime they go to work. And they die, you feel bad, but it's not like, oh, you shouldn't be a firefighter because you might have to go into a burning building. You shouldn't be a cop because you might die. You shouldn't do this because blah, blah. It comes with risk. You play football. It says on your helmet, this does not prevent neck, brain injuries. It says it right on the helmet. You know what you're signing up for. You know what you're signing up for. And to ask this man to retire out of everyone else that's been concussed, and you want to talk about CTE and all the other head trauma, I'm not dismissing it. But out of everyone in the NFL, all of a sudden, it's the Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Oh, he should retire.
Yep.
It's a week later, and these talking heads on these bullshit, just talking head shows are talking like it was their initial reaction. Yes, we all thought the worst of the worst when he initially went down. It's a week later, and they're still talking like they just saw it for the first time, and they haven't had time to internalize that he came home on the flight that same night, that every MRI and every single test that we know about so far has come back clean. What are we even talking about? Not to mention, Jalen Ramsey talked about it. T. Higgins was in the exact same situation, except he wasn't taken off on a stretcher in a freak injury. He got a concussion in the Sunday game. He came back into the game. He went to concussion protocol in the Sunday game. He cleared it. He came back into that game and then played a short week on Thursday. I didn't hear nobody talking about, oh, T. Higgins shouldn't play in that game. Did you guys? Because I certainly did not. I didn't hear anything about T.
I didn't hear anyone say Tua shouldn't play in the Bengals game until after the injury happened.
Exactly. And all these people on these talking head shows want to talk about it. It's so like a small quarter, like Bryce Young, just don't enter the draft, dude. Just don't enter it because apparently that's what happened. Like it's bullshit. It's stupid. Like there was this guy we were talking about before the show, former Jets player, former Broncos player, whoever he is. I don't even know who he is. I quote him as some fucking idiot. He's like to win
Mark Schlereth.
If the Dolphins want to win the PR battle, they should put Tua on IR. That's not even saying retire, but they should put Tua on IR for 4 weeks. Why the fuck do we care about PR? Who gives a flying fuck? I'm here to win championships. I'm here to win the war, not the battle of some PR bullshit. Because optics and politics, yeah, that matters for the Dolphins media team. Yeah, it is somewhere in that organization. But for the fucking team and the coach, it does not matter because dude, if you separate this from this being the biggest football league in the world, this is a team playing in a league, a football team playing in a football league, trying to win the trophy at the end of the day, trying to win a championship. That is what we are here to do. We're not here to please the fans. We're not here to please the national media who are fucking stupid anyways. Who gives a fuck? Because they don't even come up with their own opinions on those shows. So who cares? They're not here to appease those people. They're here to prove to themselves that they are worth being a championship level team and worth winning and raising that trophy at the end of the day. So who gives a fuck about what the PR? Listen, I know there's people not the players, but there's people in the Dolphins organization as a whole, the media team, that need to control that stuff. That's why you have PR teams in your organization to control that stuff. But you do not let that intersect with your actual team and trying to win a game and trying to win the championship. Because you know how you win the championship? It's by making the playoffs. How do you make the playoffs? By winning games during the regular season. And how do you do that? You put the best product you can on the field to win games. That is what you do. So the fact that optics and politics are keeping our quarterback out of a game, and I'm fine. Listen, I still think we can win without him against the Jets. If optics and politics keeps him out of the Vikings game, I will be heated even more than I am now. Now, listen, I think he'll be good to go, and I think it's all going to be fine. But like Smoke said, I think that was the first time Mike McDaniel has lied to us and saying, oh, he doesn't let optics play a part, because I think him missing this Jets game is all optics, because they didn't wait for him to like go into protocol and then see, oh, he didn't make it in time for the Jets game. It was
They
Monday.
ruled him
in
out
the
on
press
Monday.
conference, and they ruled him
They
out
ruled
on
him
Monday.
out on Monday.
It's not like they
didn't even wait
waited
till
to see
Friday.
if he could make it out of concussion protocol. They didn't even wait. Listen, I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I'm saying they didn't even see if it was the right decision and wait. So I think it's just clearly the NFL or something happened where it's like, okay, he's clearly just ruled out because of the PR. And I just think that's bullshit that optics and politics are running our team.
100% agree. So we got 40 people in here live right now. If you haven't already, smash that like button. It's going to help this channel grow. It's going to help this video reach more people in our community. Please hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It means the world. I mean, we're growing like crazy. We're just at like 2.5 subscribers. We're almost at 3,000. So
Yes, sir.
if you're here,
Yes, sir, baby.
join the movement. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Help this video grow. Send it to your friends, your family, your mom, your girlfriend, your ex. I don't care who it is. Get it to them. I wanted to mention one thing, but I was reading the comments and they kind of got me tripped up. Oh, okay. So my biggest problem is that everyone thinks that he's had 2 concussions in 1 week. It was completely separate. The Bills game, I saw him get up and I saw him fall. But the doctor, they ran all their tests. They said he didn't have a concussion. They fired the doctor. That's their scapegoat. That is their scapegoat. What did Tua do that same game? Drops back on 3rd and 23 and throws the pass that ended the game. Ended the game. He played the whole second half. No one said a peep. Then the whole week leading up to Cincinnati,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
what they
additional
say?
testing. By the way,
What did they
additional
say?
testing, yeah.
Did anyone say, yo, Tua shouldn't play this game? Tua shouldn't play this game. No one said that. You know what they said? Yo, Tua needs to out-duel Joe Burrow. Tua needs to win this game because beating Buffalo wasn't enough. Oh, Tua's got to win this game. Tua's got to win that game. He still has to prove. No one said anything about Tua shouldn't play. Then he goes out there, and by the way, I don't know about you guys. Aside from that interception, I don't think I was watching a concussed quarterback. He was throwing dimes. The throw that he had to Gesicki, Chase Edmonds dropped the touchdown. Tua looked good in that Bengals game. He did not look concussed. And the only thing that is holding Tua back is himself. Him getting slammed on his head in the Bengals game, his fault. Him breaking his hip in college, his fault. He holds on to the football for too damn long. And once he learns how to stop trying to play hero ball and stop thinking that he's Josh Allen, we talk about it all the time. Once he gets rid of that, he'll have a career in the NFL. But if he wants to sit here and keep trying to be a superhero, he will never be the franchise quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Tua will never be the franchise quarterback of the Miami Dolphins if he keeps doing this to himself. He needs to stop playing hero ball. If he learns to accept when a play is dead, he will have a great career in the NFL, and he could be our franchise guy. But you cannot be the franchise quarterback in the NFL if you are missing multiple games every single year. He cannot miss Minnesota. I don't care if it's a PR nightmare. They get paid to fucking do PR. They get paid to do press releases. They get paid to deflect. Deshaun Watson had 25 sexual assault allegations. You don't hear about it anymore. You roll with the punches, you let it go. I was getting dragged on Twitter by the whole world because I was clowning a Buffalo Bills fan at the end of the game. Now I don't hear anything except from a couple trolls in my mention. The thing is, you weather the storm. You say Tua starting against the Vikings, you take heat for it for a week, you go out there, you whip the Vikings' ass, and boom, no one talks about it again for the rest of the season. He cannot miss more than this game. Period. End of story.
I mean, and on top of that, just to kind of go back to some of the other points about everyone saying he should retire, they should put him on IR, they should do this. It's like, has anyone taken into the account what Tua said or what Tua wants to do? Like the last statement of his release that he put on Twitter, I'm feeling much better and focused on recovering so I can get back out on the field with my teammates. Does that sound like a guy who is super concussed and worrying about his long-term future? Does that sound like a guy who wants to retire from the league? Does that sound like a guy who wants to be put on IR? Like, he is a football player. That's what he does. That's what he's going to go out and continue to do. Until I hear Tua say, my head's not right, I don't feel right, I'm injured, I'm concussed, that's the moment where I'll pump the brakes a little bit and be like, okay, this guy's not right. Maybe he actually should sit out and get himself healthy, because believe me, I get it. His health is much more important than the NFL career. But if 100%, the NFL career,
his health is more important, but your job is to be an NFL player. Your job is to be an NFL player. And if your career, if your health is on the line and you don't feel comfortable with that, then step aside. But that's not the case. Just like Bobby's
And
saying.
that's not him.
Of
That's
course,
not
his
him.
health is more important, but your health is on the line when you're an NFL football player. And if you're worried about your health, you shouldn't play in the NFL.
Go get a desk job, dude. Go get a desk job.
And I don't know Tua personally. I've never talked to this guy, but I'd be willing to bet my life on it that football is his passion, his number one thing in the world. Life wouldn't be worth living the same if he couldn't play football. It is at least what I would think he would think, and most NFL players would say, I want to be playing football because that's what I do, that's what I love, that's what I want to be doing at all times. So, like, he's going to play, It's so crazy to think he's going to retire. And then just to touch on Smoke's point, it is factual. It was hard to say in the moment that, like, that was Tua's fault just because of what happened and seeing him get stretchered off. But I mean, we were live in the game, and you could go back and rewatch this thing live. Me and Smoke were saying, throw the ball away, throw the ball away, throw the ball away, throw the ball away, throw the ball away. And then he sits there and gets crushed. So even if you go back and look at the all-22, I mean, it looked like he had, I forget who it was, open on that right side. He could have thrown that pass.
I think it was.
So there is definitely shit he has to work on. He has to work on not playing that hero ball, throwing the ball away. I mean, we've said it so many times. There's all these pillars we wanted Tua to check off. And so far, he's checked off every single one of them outside of the injury concern. And that is a growing concern because your best ability is availability. And if you're going to be missing handfuls of games every season at the quarterback position, it's quite literally just tough to have a winning team with that. So I don't think Tua's ever considering retiring. I think that if he had it his way, he'd be playing this week. I get giving him the week off and letting him really kind of regroup, get better, get a little healthier, because it's not just a head. He's also got a back and an ankle that he's nursing a little bit. So let's let Tua take his week, get right, coming off the 10-day break. By the time he plays the next game, it'll be 17 days from his injury, I believe. So, I mean, the guy's going to be all right, man. He's going to pull through. He's going to play quarterback. He's going to play it again at a high level. It sucks for the moment, but Tua's got a future, man. I don't know. It's just so crazy to think that he should retire or some of this other shit people are throwing out there in the media.
Yeah, apparently, like, he was asking about the result of the play to Mike McDaniel, like, when he was, like, taken off the field. It's like, dude, this is a guy who's a warrior. He wants to play, like Bobby said. All we've seen is that he wants to play. And even, again, the whole thing about how athletes, they support their family through this thing, like, Tua knows, like, there's stuff on the line. His job is on the line. There's money on the line. Everything's on the line. He knows that. But I think even outside of that, I think his love of the game would want to make him play that whole time. And like I said, like Smoke said, he has to get back for the Vikings game because that means he's missing multiple games for the third time out of 3 years in his career, which means he can't be the franchise guy. So he's got to come back to the Vikings game. And like Bobby said, I think he could play this game. I think he wants to play this game, but obviously let him get his head right, let him get like his whole body right, like we talked about. Like people aren't talking about the back end or the ankle, and then we'll be good to go. Again, everything that we've seen from Tua is that he wants to play. I haven't seen anything. Like, literally not one notion. Even when Mike McDaniel, he was already in the facility getting work. Like, come on, guys.
Asking questions about the play that he got hurt on. Like, the first thing he did when he woke up is he asked questions about the play. Like, this guy wants to fucking be on the football field.
Yeah, like, I don't get it.
Here's what I realized when Tua's not with the Miami Dolphins is how much I appreciate him. Like, I want to be very clear. I was the furthest thing from a Tua stand because I believed that going into the season, he had a lot to prove not only to me, but to himself, this fan base, and this franchise. And he came in and he took that bull by the damn reins, and he looked impressive. And then when I see all these other quarterbacks around the league, I'm like, yo, I might have been even a little too hard on Tua because the rest of the league, that shit is ass. I mean, you get outside of the top 10, top 11, maybe top 12 quarterbacks.
Bad, dude.
It is bad. And you watch Tua play, and it's like, whoa. Like, we actually got a dude that's better than most. I could officially say he's better than most. And right now in the NFL, he is definitely better than most. I watched all of Sunday. I watched every single game. He is definitely better than most options out there. And I'm not even a Tua stan.
Top 10 easily.
I'm not a Tua stan.
We could have Matt Ryan out there for us. Have you watched Matt Ryan play a football game this year?
Terrible. Horrendous. Carson Wentz, dog water. I don't know how he's a top 10 fantasy quarterback, but there are some terrible starting quarterbacks out there, man. Terrible. I'm very grateful to have Tua on this team, and him not being on the field, you felt it instantly. You felt it not even with just how the offense was running, but the team, the mojo, the swagger, the play calling, all that good stuff. But luckily, we did make we paid our insurance bill, like every single month I pay car insurance, you pay this insurance, and you're like, why am I paying all this stupid insurance? This is ridiculous. And then boom, you actually get in an accident and you're like, whoo, thank God I was paying $200 a month for car insurance because this thing is going to cost me $25,000. That's what Teddy Bridgewater is. He's our car insurance, and we got in an accident, and here comes the insurance, Teddy, and that's what he's being paid to do. His contract was $6 million. They gave him the incentive. Hey, if you have to play, we're going to give you $10 million. Teddy's getting his money. Now it's time for Teddy to do his job. All right, let's just talk about that. Where is your guys' confidence level in Teddy Bridgewater going into this game? I'll start with Bobby.
I think Teddy Bridgewater's floor. I'm not changing any opinions I've ever had on this show. Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback without Tua gives us the best shot to win this game. He's going to come in. Mike McDaniel had 10 days to scheme up a right-handed offense for Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's going to be efficient. I think he's going to get the job done. I think he's going to mitigate a lot of the risk. I don't think we're going to be looking for Teddy to be chucking the ball all around the field. We've said this for 4 weeks in a row, and I guess I'll say it for a 5th week in a row. I'd really like to see the running game get going because that would be extremely beneficial, especially with Teddy in there. But I'm going to assume they're probably going to stack that box a little bit with Teddy in there without the threat of Tua beating him deep. But at the same time, you still have to stop Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So good luck with that. I think that any average quarterback could just get the ball in their hands and let them do the rest. And I think that that's what Teddy is, an average quarterback, a great backup. Smoke's analogy of the car insurance, spot on. That's exactly what he is. Sure. It's exactly what he is. He's our insurance plan that you never want to have to use your insurance plan. You never want to have to put a claim down. But when it happens, you thank God that you've been paying that insurance all this time, and it's not going to be the worst headache in the world. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. I would like things to be better. Obviously, there's a lot of things I would change for the better. We've talked a lot about Tua's injuries. We'll get into some of the other injuries later. But it's Jets week, boys. It's the New York Jets. It's Zach Wilson. If I can't cause myself that much stress over a Jets week game. I'll have gray hair by the time I turn 28. So Jets week, I'm feeling all right until the team at this point has earned enough credence in my book, going out there and beating the Bills, the Ravens, the Patriots, where I feel good about our team. I feel like we have a great roster that's ready to go toe-to-toe with anybody in the league. And if you're going to put the Jets in our way, I'm going to feel good about going in. Is my bet slip already in for the Dolphins money line this week? You bet your ass it is. So that should tell you how I feel about them. Simple as that.
The only thing I disagree with you on is you said Teddy Bridgewater doesn't really have arm strength. Dude, he has a hose. He could let that thing fly. He can throw the ball further than Tua Tagovailoa. No, for sure.
I'm not questioning his arm strength. I think that ball he hit whoever on was 60 air yards or whatever. So I'm not questioning his arm strength.
That thing was a chooch.
I'm just thinking that we're going to try and mitigate the risks. We're not going to want Teddy out there just absolutely slanging that thing. I don't know. I could be wrong.
His deep accuracy is not great. I think good.
In my opinion, now you could be right and I could be wrong, but I believe McDaniel's offense is for us to sling the football around. Everyone came in is like, we're going to run the ball. Well, we haven't been able to run the ball, but man, can we throw that fucker. And he just schemes people open. I mean, Bobby, you could go out there, and I honestly believe that if McDaniel's talking to you in your head and you have a robotic arm that allows you to throw the ball more than 5 yards, you would walk off the field with a 50% completion percentage or better. That's how wide open these guys get. These guys get wide open. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Did I say? Yeah, okay. I thought I mixed their names up. They probably lead the league in separation. Now, Dante, I see you in the chat. You're a PFF guy. Go ahead, pull up the analytics. I bet you they're top 5 in the league in separation. And just our schemes and our play calling, I am very, very confident in Teddy to go out there and get the job done. And even if he doesn't, I am very, very confident in backup quarterback Skylar Thompson to go out there and get the job done.
Your boy.
But
by the way,
I don't want to see Teddy more than a week. I do not want to see Teddy more than a week. I will rip hair out of my head.
What did Tyreek Hill say? I think he said to ESPN reporter Marcel Louis-Jacques, I'll put up with you.
I'll put up numbers with you.
I'll put up numbers with you. That's what he said, looking dead in the eye. And guess what? He's probably right. It's Tyreek Hill. He's on pace for like 2,000 yards at this moment in time, whatever the case is, close to 2,000 yards. He's wide receiver 1 for a reason. This guy is fantastic. And then you have Jalen Waddle next to him. I think my confidence level as Teddy as a backup is pretty high. I think he's one of the better backups in the league just based on his experience. Obviously, in preseason wasn't looking that great. But obviously now with 10 days to prepare, I think this is a lot better. So I think that Teddy is still solid, especially for a backup. He's kind of what you want in a backup. Like Bobby said, mitigating risks, not going to take too many chances, just kind of let the offense kind of move as it would. So yeah, my confidence is in that shot. I do, to be honest, and we'll get into it, I'm sure. There's some injuries on some other parts of this team, which is actually worrying me a little bit more, to be honest with you guys.
I agree.
Let's get right into that. That brings me right to my next point. I think I counted before the show. There was 18 people on IR. Here's the guys that didn't practice. No surprise. Can you guys guess the first person I'm going to say? This guy did not practice. Any wild guess?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was trying to pull the injury
Tron
report
Armstead. Tron Armstead.
Thank you. Fuck you, Bobby.
I was trying to pull the injury report.
No, you're trying to bet another soccer game because you're 2-0. Don't lie to me. Teron Armstead.
No more games on today, or else I would.
Ethan Carter, concussion. He might actually have CTE.
Anyway.
He might have CTE. Keon Crossan, glute shoulder.
He said he might
did not practice. Xavier Howard, groins. There is an S at the end now. It's not groin. It's groins. Two groins. Like sirloins. There's 2 groins. Did not practice. Melvin Ingram, vet rest. Fine with that. He's been a monster. He was AFC defensive player of the month. He
Don't know how he got that, but shout out to him.
Robert Jones, absolute dog water, back. Don't care if he plays or not. Tua Tagovailoa, concussion, back, ankle. Lord, please just put your hand over him and just take care of his injuries because we need him so bad and he needs it himself.
Mr. Miyagi.
Jalen Waddle. This pisses me off. Jalen Waddle. Groin, did not practice. I swear, and I don't want to swear on anything holy, so I'll swear on something stupid like my next credit card bill or something. I don't like something I want to swear on that I don't care if something bad happens to. If I wake up on Sunday and Xavier Howard and Jalen Waddle are not playing, I will put a plastic bag over my face and jump in a lake. Because that would be fucking bullshit. Bullshit. It'd be the most Miami Dolphins thing of all time to be 3-1 and then go to New York to play the dumpy Jets. And I know the Jets, they've upgraded. I'm not saying there's some dog water team that I would fucking piss in. I mean, I'd probably piss on them. I don't know if I could piss in them right now. But my gosh, if we lose to this Jets team after starting 3-1, I will be contemplating living life after that Sunday. Jerome Baker did not practice.
Yeah, he should be hitting a tackling bag all practice long. He shouldn't get the vet rest excuse. Like, he's not good enough to get the vet rest. Armstead, vet rest him up.
He's not good enough.
He's good to get the vet rest. Like, you know what I'm saying, though? You got to earn the vet rest. In my opinion, Baker hasn't earned it. Baker hasn't earned it. He should be hitting the tackling dummy. I know they got these new ones that are like remote control and shit.
I've seen them.
They should just have him out there all day just hammering that thing because he can't make a tackle.
Brandon Jones, chest, limited. Zach Sealer, hand, limited. Tanner Connor, knee, full. Raekwon Davis, knee, full. Trey Flowers, knee, full. Greg Little, finger, full. That was kind of funny. Greg Little, finger, full. Hunter Long, ankle, full. Cedric Wilson, ribs and toe, full. All the guys fully practicing. Love to hear that. Limited guys, I believe, will play. But I tell you what, man. Like, I want to punch this computer screen so bad seeing Xavier Howard groins.
No, we got to talk about something else, dude.
And Jalen Waddle
because he's not even on the injury report. We got to talk about this. This is terrible.
Byron Jones.
I don't understand.
He finessed us.
Yeah.
He absolutely finessed us so we didn't get J.C. Jackson. Hell of a chess move. I'm glad you got your money. As of right now, you're on my shit list.
No, he didn't tear it. It was like it wasn't that bad, but he just waited to get right when J.C. Jackson rumors started spiraling. He just got a surgery, and then also Noah Benogany and Byron Jones are 2 players who we spent high assets on and just aren't playing this year. And obviously Noah Benogany, it's because he's dog water. Byron Jones because he made a chest move and somehow he's not ready. We went from Mike McDaniel, and again, I think he did believe it in his heart at that time, being like hopeful, I think was the word he used, for him to start week 1, to him now coming off 4 weeks of IR and still not opening the practice window.
Yep.
How is this gone to this point? Because the surgery, it wasn't a torn Achilles, Bobby. It was way less kind of a impactful of an injury. So I don't understand how we've gone to this point, how Byron's not there, because our defense, unlike a lot of other NFL teams where it's based on your edge and your defensive line, our defense is based on our corners being able to stay on an island, which means if Xavier and Byron Jones are both out, dude, we better get a lot of pressure or else we will be in trouble. I know it's Zach Wilson, who I'm not confident in. Obviously, I'm not confident in Zach Wilson. I know it's a young team, but they're up and coming. I think they're better than the Patriots. And the fact that our defense is built on our corner staying on an island, and other than Cater Coe, because I actually like what he's been doing, I don't want to rely on Nick Needham. I don't want to rely. Crosson's hurt too. I don't want to rely on these guys. Elijah Campbell, listen, love the guy. Great that he made the team. I don't want to rely on these guys. Like, this is so huge. And the fact that Byron Jones is still on IR, not even opening the practice window, I think it's ridiculous. And I got to give it to him. Hell of a chess move, like Smoke said.
I sent out a tweet, what was it? I think Monday. I said Dolphins defense has been playing phenomenal. And then I look at the stats and I'm like, damn, sometimes I say some dumb shit. Now, they're great at not letting people score. I'll give them that. They are fantastic at not letting opponents score. They're the definition of bend, don't break. But when you're telling me that Xavier Howard, Byron, I mean, we haven't had Byron, but X not playing at all, making us go Nick Needham, Cater Kohu, and Keon Crossan, when our defense ranks 31st in passing yards per game, 31st in yards per game, passes thrown 27th per game, opponent completion percentage 24th, and sacks per game 27th. That is horrendous. It's terrifying. I don't care if you're playing the Jets. I don't care if you're playing the Washington Commanders. I do not care if it's any given Sunday. And I know everyone wants to be like, yo, X hasn't really looked that good. X hasn't really looked that good. X on the field allows us to double the other team's best receiver with Keon Crossan and Cater Kohu or whoever the hell's on the field. And we just trust X to go one-on-one. So has he got burnt a couple times this year? 100%. But if he's not playing, you don't have that cornerback to go one-on-one the whole game. And what's that do? It peels back how much you're going to be able to put on the quarterback. And we've already peeled back enough without Byron out there. So imagine how little pass rush we're going to get on Zach Wilson and the Jets if we don't have Xavier Howard out there. We're already almost dead last in sacks this year. And if you don't have X out there, you can't depend on your secondary and man coverage, and you can't send Javon Holland and Brandon Jones on the blitz because you're going to need their help over the top because you're playing an undrafted rookie. And no disrespect, he made the team, he's been balling. But you need Xavier Howard out there. I don't care if you think he looks rusty or not.
Yeah. And I mean, just to point to the defense, I think those numbers are a little like
skewed.
Skewed, yeah. Because the problem with our defense is we play great. We don't lot up a lot of points, but we just get dominated on 3rd and 4th and short. Like, we can't get off the field, and teams just sustain really long drives against us.
Possession.
And yeah, exactly. And that loses the time of possession. That's all the yards that they're getting. But when push comes to shove, they really do step up. So I'm not looking like, if you were to look at those numbers that Smoke just gave off, you would say the Dolphins defense is dog shit, completely garbage. But like, watch a game, go back and watch the tape. They're not that bad. I would say our issue is 3rd and 4th downs, getting off the field. I mean, how many times did Josh Allen,
but is
Lamar
that not
Jackson,
how you win close
even
football
the Bengals
games?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just making a point that those numbers act like our defense is terrible, like really bad. Right. But our defense is definitely not really bad. Like, our defense is solid and can play above average. I believe we have an above average defense, but there is some shit that needs to be cleaned up, tackling 3rd and 4th downs. And I mean, when you're starting number one
great
corner,
point, Bobby. Great point. The tackling has been awful.
It's been really bad, dude. Tackling has been really, really bad. I've been saying that all year, and it hasn't really come back to bite us. I don't think the reason we lost the Bengals game was because of tackling, but there's been some plays throughout this season where I'm like, dude, this is going to come back to bite us when we can't make a fucking tackle. And then all of a sudden they get another 1st down, and then we get them to 3rd and 1, another 1st down. We stop them. They go to 4th and 2, but they go for it. They get the 1st down. It's just like, come on, boys.
And I don't want to pin it. I don't want to pin it directly on McDaniel because these guys are professional athletes. But like, you see Dan Campbell out there, like, they're full on tackling drills. I mean, the Lions, that's a bad example because the Lions defense is absolutely Swiss cheese. But he's very player safety. Mike McDaniel is in contrast to the whole world. We didn't do a lot of full pad hitting in the offseason. We didn't. We were probably one of the most conservative teams when it came to, we want our guys to be healthy when it comes to the regular season, and then we'll kind of figure everything out. So maybe as time goes on and the season grows longer and older, we'll be a much better tackling football team. But to your point, Bobby, you're 100%. The tackling has been egregious on this football team. It's been terrible, and it needs to be fixed. You're 100% correct.
And one more quick point to that is, sorry, Jay, right after this.
No, go ahead.
Very good. But, I mean, look at the out of the 4 teams we've played, I mean, the Bills and the Ravens are top 5 offenses in the NFL. The Bengals
top 5 quarterbacks.
The Bengals are somewhere in there. And then Frank's ripping it.
Preach.
It's the little stuff sometimes, man. It's the little stuff.
Penalties.
Tackling, penalties, just like clean that shit up a little bit, boys.
Jay, I'm sorry, but this is such a great point that I have to address it. We need to clean up the penalties. Amen. Now,
offense and defense, by the way, on both sides.
Both sides of the ball. This is one of the only reasons why I loved Brian Flores. We were one of the most disciplined football teams in the NFL when he was our head coach, and that's because he was a dictator. Now, if Mike McDaniel can lower these penalties, oh my God, we have something special. I already think we do have something special.
Buffalo.
The tackling and the penalties, dog shit. Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a lot of penalties.
Also, that's more on Josh Boyer, too.
They had the ball for 40 minutes. But, I mean, just the lining up, the guys didn't know where to line up, the delay of games, just the stupid penalties that kill drives. You can't have it. You cannot have it. That's one thing we have to clean up. Tackling and penalties, 100%. Great point, Frank. Jay, the floor is yours, brother.
No, I was just going to say, just to get back to, like, the actual defense, back to, like, kind of the main conversation. I think our defense relies on a lot of the eye tests. And by the way, so first I'll talk about Xavier. If you look on Twitter and on podcasts, Richard Sherman, all the real-life NFL players who know football and they're actually in the game, they're in the gridiron, they know how tough Xavier's job is because he never has safety help. He never has anyone behind him. He's man on. You know when you see the wide receiver cornerback one-on-one drills in preseason, remember how we talk and everyone before everyone says because, we don't want to give Tua or which quarterback that much credit because the offense has such a big advantage when it's one-on-one. That's what Xavier does in real games. That's literally what he does. So that's what I would say about him. Now, with our defense as a whole, our defense is not ran like most defenses. We like to create turnovers. We like to create a mess, and then we like to bend but don't break once you get into the red zone. The way it works is if we get a sack or a tackle for loss on 1st and 2nd down early in the drive, we will get them off the field. If not, they might drive down the field, but then in the red zone, we either force turnovers or we force a field goal. That's how our defense runs. That's why in the past years, we've allowed a lot of yards, but our points per game has been in tops of the league. We've always been a team that allows a lot of yards, but then what actually matters, because I would rather give up 500 yards and no points than 500 points and no yards, right? So that's how our defense runs. That's how it works. I know it's different. That's just how Josh Boyer and formerly Brian Flores like to do it. Clearly, Josh Boyer is taking that. So, yes, we're going to use that blitz. If we can get a sack or tackle for loss early in the drive, early on those downs, we'll get them off the field. If not, they might drive, but that forces the offense to get tired. It lets our offense rest up on our team. And obviously, in the red zone, we clamp up. And again, a lot in that 2020 year where our defense really kind of exploded into what they are now, it was a lot of turnovers forced by Xavier Howard in that red zone. And now we have Juwan Holland, who's a nasty ball hawk back there too. I think this is just an electric. And again, like Bobby said, it's like you have to watch the game. This is not a team, especially on defense, where you can just look at the numbers and be like, that's what they are. Because our defense, again, like I said at the beginning of this whole defensive conversation, our defense is not built like other defenses. It's not built through the defensive line generating pressure. It's actually built on our quarterbacks being able to stay on an island. So that's why I think of Xavier Howard and Byron Jones being injured.
That's why I'm so nervous for this week.
Is nervous. It's kind of it makes you anxious because do you want to put Keon Crossan on an island? Do you want to put Nick Needham on an island? Do you want to put Kader Kohu on an island? I know he's been balling, but I don't want to do that.
And then you have to come up with a whole new scheme. You have to come up with a whole new scheme. You have to come up with a whole new scheme. We rely on our corners.
Yeah.
And if X isn't out there, I don't care if you think he looks rusty or this or that. Just like McDaniel's got to come up with a new scheme for Teddy because he's a right-handed quarterback. That's just a lefty versus righty. You're talking about your lockdown top corner on your football team not playing and a defense that relies on your corner to play man-to-man coverage. That is a big ask. We're going to find out exactly what Boyer's about this week. This is a huge test for him to see how he truly is as a DC. But I'll give it to you. The bend don't break. It gives you a heart attack. But we do keep teams out of the end zone. We need to capitalize. We got 100 people in here. If you haven't already, hit that like button. We only have 50 likes. There's 100 people in here live. It takes 2 seconds.
Run it up.
Hit it up real quick. Bink, 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 bink. Let's try to get to 100 people. We did it last time. We could do it again. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you love the Dolphins, if you love NFL football, this is the place.
Yeah, share with
to
the
be.
boys, the people, your family, whoever likes football. This is the place for them, especially if they like Miami Dolphins football.
We got
Share
Clump
with
in
the
the
boys.
chat. Shout out Clump. That's the homie right there.
That is the homie. Shout out to him.
Just going right back to kind of the conversation we were having about this particular game coming up, this Jets game, obviously. So if I'm going to work off the assumption that somehow, not somehow, that's pretty realistic that Xavier Howard doesn't play in this game, it's going to be an absolute massive test, like Jay was saying, for that D-line has to step up. That D-line has to get pressure. I know it's Zach Wilson. He's still an NFL quarterback, and if you give him time to sit back there, he's going to pick apart these lesser players, because that's what they 100%. Are. They're not starters, so they're lesser inferior players.
Yeah.
So that D-line is going to have to eat, and I'm looking for a monster game out of number 8 back there at safety, cleaning up the mess, putting people in the right spots. He's going to be a leader of men this game, and I can't wait for him to show it. He's proven all year, us so right, how good he is and how just phenomenal. He's the leader of that defense in my mind. He's the eyes, the ears, the mouthpiece. He's everything for that defense. And if there's one guy that's going to step up in a game like this where we're a little shorthanded, I think it's got to be him. But it really does start up front, man. We have to generate some pressure. How are the Jets against the pass rush this year? I truthfully, that's an ignorant question. I don't know.
Yeah, like slightly below average, I think is what I remember seeing. I don't know if that's true. I could be very wrong. Let me know in the comments.
The strength of the Jets defense is their young corners right now. Sauce and DJ, they're playing out of their mind.
DJ's not young,
playing out
but
of
he's
their
just
mind.
good.
Their safeties have been dog shit all year. They had one good game last week against Mitch Trubisky / Kenny Pickett. Other than that, they've been egregious. Here's my thing, and here's the key to victory for the Miami Dolphins. And you know what really pisses me off before I give the key to victory? We look at the schedule, the first 4 games, we're like, dude, we got some, like, these are some tough games. Like, we're lucky to go 2-2. We might go 1-3. And then after we got through that, we were like, damn, look at all these games in a row that we can win. I don't have that feeling anymore. And if I'm going to be real with myself, I don't have that great of a feeling this game. Did I already bet the Dolphins to win the game? Yes, I already did. Me and Bobby, I texted him, yo, are you going to take this parlay with me? He said absolutely. He didn't even say absolutely. He just sent me a picture of him taking the bet. He's the realest one I know. I bet us to win, but dude, I have a weird feeling about this game, and never did I have a weird feeling about playing the Jets. The schedule came out, I put a big old W. I ate the W, right? The second they dropped the schedule, I was eating that thing. But now, here comes the injury bug, and it's like, damn, all these games that should be free wins, the schedule comes out. Oh, checkmark W, checkmark W, checkmark W, checkmark W. Here comes the freaking Wicked Witch of the West. Injury, Tua, concussion, Teron Armstead, poof, toe. Xavier Howard, groin, another groin, groins. Jalen Waddle, groin. And it's just like, what? What are we supposed to do?
Trust in the big dog up top, bro. You trust in Mike McDaniel. We've been praising this guy all year. Adversity creates opportunity. Well, here's your adversity, baby. And he's given me no reason not to trust him. I know how you feel, Smoke, and it's a shitty feeling because normally on a Sunday versus the Jets, it's like, yo, we need to make this prop parlay because Tua's throwing for 300, Waddle's going for – like that's the normal feeling we would get at this Jets game. So when you don't have that feeling going in, it's a little uneasy. It feels a little unsettling. But at the same time, man, I still feel good enough about the team that we're going to field, and we still don't know. We still don't. Xavier Howard might be fine and might go out there and play and tough it out like he has every game this year. Armstead's going to be out there. We already know that. Waddle's been on the injury report for the last 3 weeks. He's been out there. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to think a lot of, if not most of those guys play in this game, and then that'll kind of ease us back down to like, okay, we got our dogs out there. But even if they don't, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just blindly ignorant to the fact that we're playing the Jets and I've put too much trust into McDaniel and this team. But at this current moment, that's just how I feel. We are the better team than the Jets, even with this depleted team we're going to put out there. And I'm not going to sit here and be like the Bills did against us and say, oh, well, this guy's out, that guy's out, this guy's out, that guy's out, all these excuses. Fuck the excuses, man. We're going to go out there. We're going to field our team. McDaniel's going to call the shots, and we're going to go to New York, take that bitch over, and win that game. Simple as that. That's how I feel. Maybe that's a little short-sighted, but that's just
Mark said, stop complaining about injuries. You said no excuses when Buffalo brought half a defense to Miami. I'm not saying it's excuses. I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to lose this game. Like, if we lose this game, the Jets beat us.
We take it on the chin.
Fair and square. I'm not complaining. Do injuries, mitigate your risk at winning? Yeah, but do good teams find a way to overcome that adversity and win the football game? Yes, they do.
You
And
can
the
be
Bills,
worried about
they had
injuries
a
and
chance
not
to win the game. They didn't
make
capitalize
excuses,
on the
yeah.
opportunity. We had a chance to win the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. We didn't capitalize on the opportunity. I'm not saying we're going to lose because of this game, but do you think I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go out there with Keon Crossing and Cater
It
Kohu
changes
as my
things.
corner 1 and 2? Like, no, it changes things. I still expect to win. I'm just not walking in there with the 7-foot schlong on the table. Frank, welcome to the party.
Frank, what up?
exactly.
Frank, you're live, brother.
Oh, what's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, brother? You
Feel
were
like
dropping
chilling.
heat in the chat. I had to bring
Yes,
you
sir.
up.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. Hey, listen, I got an unpopular take for you guys.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I'm looking back at the tape in regards to our running, and this is what I'm seeing. We're utilizing Tyreek for a lot of blocking, and he's not always making it. And what that looks like is he might be getting gas in between those long, deep passes, that kind of thing, which kind of leads to me to believe he's getting those cramps and all that. So I feel like we're not necessarily, I don't want to say you're not utilizing him in the best way, but we need to be a little bit more careful on how we utilize him. And I noticed today Mike McDaniel talking about it in the press conference in regards to the running and to the running game. Because I need to be really careful on the type of plays that we call. It's not on one person, it's on all of us. So I noticed that's a big thing, man. The trenches and the blocking. If Tyreek can get utilized a little bit better, I don't know if he doesn't want to, but I've noticed he was a little bit late on a few of them. I know it's unpopular. I know he's awesome and all this other stuff, but I'm hoping I'm not the only one that noticed that.
Yeah, well, it's like one of those things where he's going to have to be on the field for some running plays, or else obviously you're giving the play up. If Tyreek's off the field, they're going to run. If he's on the field, they're going to pass. So he's going to have to be out there for some running plays. That's just how it goes. I feel like McDaniel has had those, kind of combinations where Sherfield and Craycraft will go out and they will run or pass, and they'll kind of get Tyreek rest for sure. So I kind of get what you're saying, because you have seen, like, I remember seeing a run or even on a pass where Tyreek's going to block and like he kind of just has to do it, and that kind of comes with him being that superstar. And I think he just kind of makes up for it with what he's doing in the receiving game. To be honest with you, I think you can kind of accept that he's not going to block, but that's why you have a guy like Trent Sherfield being your wide receiver 3 right now, because he does all those little things. So I get what you're saying, and it is a good point, but there's some give and take, especially when you're talking about a guy like Tyreek Hill.
100%.
Sorry, go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say that, I don't expect him to be a blocker, like, big time blocker or anything like that. And I think the guy's a stud. Obviously, he's putting up all the numbers. My thing is, like, if we're going to use him like that, I think we need to be careful in regards to the timing and, like, just getting those type of reps, especially if it's someone like him. They're all football players, right? But it is a different kind of scheme for him. He wasn't necessarily playing like that in Kansas City. So, it seems like he's more comfortable in just, maybe the short passes or, and making a play and getting some yak. But in regards to the blocking, from what I'm seeing, he doesn't look as comfortable in doing that. And I think he mentioned it even like, once, in a conference.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's like 5'8", $125, but we pay him. He's the highest paid player. He's the highest paid wide receiver in the league to catch passes. I know his blocking is a concern, but I care more about how Liam Eichenberg is blocking. I care more about how Robert Hunt's blocking. He's honestly been pretty good. I'm more concerned about Greg Little and how he's blocking and how we're getting to second-level linebackers. I'm not too concerned about Tyreek Hill and his blocking if he's going out there for 150 receiving yards each and every single game. I see your point. I see what you're getting at, but at the end of the day, man, I care more about our guards getting up to the second level, making blocks on linebackers. So we have to worry about if Tyreek's blocking or not.
100%. I agree with you. I think, and that's just what there's something there. It's just like, I feel like we're not too far away from making this all click. I feel like all the puzzle pieces are right there, and we're just haven't fully aligned them just yet. And that could be like what you're saying, like the guards and those kind of things, and, helping them out so that they can make everybody else's job a little bit easier. So
100%.
Definitely. So thank you so much for letting me share, man. There's obviously a lot I could get on, but I'm excited for us, bro. Go Dolphins.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Fins
Shout out
up,
to you,
brother. Thanks,
Frank.
Frank. Clump.
Shout out to
Clump
Frank, man. What's
dog.
good,
Clump, are you
Clumpy?
going to hang out with us, or are you just going to hop on? Because I want to see what RD has to say, and then we could just all hang out.
I was just gonna say hi. I'm not gonna stay long. You can let RD.
Oh,
I'm just
what's
stopping
up,
by
buddy?
up to the boys, see how you guys.
Love
RD,
this.
what's up?
Love
We
seeing
appreciate
Clump,
you,
man.
Clump.
It's the
We
homie.
appreciate you, dog.
Go ahead.
RD, you're next live.
RD.
Dude, I feel like it's drafting season as soon as I see Clump. I'm like, let's do some breakdowns, dude. When is the kicker gonna go in the 5th round from Florida? I want to know.
We'll see.
Oh man, I don't know about this Teddy thing, guys. Like, thinking of Teddy makes me, uneasy. You know what I mean? Just thinking about him, let alone his play or who we're facing. Just thinking about Teddy, like Teddy managing the ship. Teddy being a captain of the ship. You entrust Teddy with a, $3 million, $4 million Bugatti, driving that thing. You know what I mean? Like, the guy has failed everywhere he's gone. Otherwise he would have
That's
stuck
not necessarily
around.
true.
He's a
That's
great
not-
backup.
It was
He's a
injury
great
back
backup.
on the played
See,
into
no,
that.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing with the backup. When you put in a backup, you put in a backup and you feel good about that backup because you have a good run game, you have a good defense, right? And either the season is over, that the games don't matter that much, or the schedule is easy, and you're like, well, we're going to make the playoffs regardless, and then our quarterback is going to come back in a few weeks or in a month or so because it's a injury that we know what it is. Dealing with Tua's injury, I mean, we have there's no timetable for this, number one. Number two, if Teddy was the option and that was it, that's fine. You got to go with Teddy, right? But the thing about Skyler that, popped into everybody's, into the screen is that every single throw he made in the preseason, you see that throw in the Super Bowl from the great ones.
RD, don't do this, RD. RD,
no,
don't do
I
this,
can already see
RD.
where this is
No, no.
going.
RD, don't do this,
no,
RD.
1 second,
We're
1
not
second.
going there, RD. You
1
just
second.
compared a preseason pass to a Super Bowl pass. I'm not giving you another second. I'm coming for that right now. Bro, Teddy Bridgewater has played football in the NFL, starting quarterback at the highest level. Has he been great, exceptional, Hall of Fame level? Absolutely not. But he's been at least solid to
Serviceable.
average. And that's all you want. And you made it. You said we're going to put him in a Bugatti. We're putting this motherfucker in a hands-free driving Tesla. That offense is going to drive itself. He's going to get the ball to Waddle. He's going to get the ball to Reek, and he's going to let them do their thing.
like
Skyler is a
Wait,
question mark,
wait,
dude.
wait,
Skyler
wait,
is
wait.
I'm not waiting. Skyler is a question mark at best. You don't know what you're getting out of the 7th-round pick. It is insane to think that he offers a higher floor than Teddy Bridgewater. This is going to be a 1 to 2 week concussion injury. Tua will be back. We're not looking for a guy to fill the role for the rest of the season. Teddy's going to steer the ship. We're going to be okay. All this Skyler talk, and I mean no disrespect to you, I'm saying this to everybody who's calling for Skyler to play quarterback. Stop it!
It's not.
You don't
it's
know
not,
what you're talking about.
It's not as much as talking about Skyler as much as downgrading Teddy, because you just said Teddy, right? Teddy's the ship, and Teddy had a chance to get a touchdown and he couldn't because he went for a field goal.
Neither
and then
did
at the
Tua
end
on
of the
first
game,
drive.
no, because he dropped a gimme.
You
That's
can't
why
make
Tua didn't get
excuses.
it.
I can't make excuses for guys, bro.
What do you mean? But here's the thing about Teddy, though. We've seen Teddy, if you give him everything, he fails miserably. Miserably. If you give him everything. We saw it last year.
That's not
Just
true.
last year. He had everything last year. The best O-line, the best running game, amazing wide receivers. He started 3-0, and he was garbage the rest of the year. They didn't make the playoffs because of him. That's why they have to.
At Teddy as a franchise guy.
No, but
We're
I'm
looking
just
at
saying,
Teddy as
like,
a guy
we
that
gotta
needs
beat
to
the
go in there and
Jets.
beat the Jets.
But that's the thing. Skyler can easily beat the Jets.
No,
Based on
Easily.
what? Based on what?
A preseason throw?
No. Based on the evaluation of what we have seen him,
That's why he dropped to the 7th round. That's why, because all the evaluation.
those throws he made. No, he went to the 7th round because first of all, came out of small school. Second of all, none of his people got drafted out of his class, out of his school ever, and he had injury concerns. Right?
No, people have definitely been drafted out of Kansas State. It's a Big 12 school. They just beat Oklahoma. It's a pretty
no.
big
I'm saying nobody got drafted out of Kansas State the last 2 years. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a really
no
bad.
one has gotten drafted into the NFL from Kansas State.
Exactly.
If you're right, that's actually wild. If you're
Yeah,
right,
because
that is wild.
because his
Can someone
he
look
has
that up for me?
he hasn't. No, I'm not. He hasn't had any. I'm talking about the offense, not the defense, because he
Oh,
doesn't control the
I mean,
defense,
you
right?
said no one's been
Wasn't-
drafted.
wasn't
Well, what difference does it make if it's the defense? The defense doesn't help him. It's the
But
offense
you're
that
acting
helps
like
him.
he came out of like a tiny school, like they play Big 12.
No,
football.
no,
It's not like he went to, like,
I'm
freaking
acting like
Rhode
the
Island University.
I'm acting like everything that he done. By the way, he beat LSU. The way he beat LSU was all him, right? He didn't have
Rhode Island,
any.
catching strays. What the fuck?
The what?
Wait, is that where you went?
No, I'm just saying out of nowhere, Smokes just
Oh,
shit.
yeah, Rhode Island. Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going, RD.
Yeah. No, I'm just. Here's the thing. Whatever Teddy's gonna do, we know what Teddy is.
He is
But
right, though.
doesn't
Kansas
it-
State hasn't any draft picks, by the way.
Hasn't Skyler done enough to just get a chance?
There's been like a
I
decent-
said, look, if you
You
watched
know?
our last episode, I was very team Skyler in the second half.
No,
if
I
Teddy
hear
goes
you.
out there and he looks like shit the first half, if the Dolphins are losing at all, you got to send Skyler out there to see what you have, because his window of opportunity to see what you have in this kid is this big. It is this big. It's like Bobby when he wakes up in the middle of December. This freaking big. That's the window of opportunity for Teddy. I mean, not Teddy, for Skyler.
That's pretty big, though.
And
I don't know.
I believe that he's done a
Shrinkage.
fantastic job, that if Teddy looks like shit the first half, he should play. But in no mind do I think Skylar Thompson should start the game over Teddy Bridgewater, a backup quarterback that we are now paying $10 million and has, I think he got drafted in 2015, so that makes it 7 years of experience in the NFL. He should not start over him, but by all means, if you start seeing that Bugatti hydroplaning, it's time to get Skylar Thompson in. RD, you've been great. You stirred up the pot. Can't wait to have you back on.
Appreciate
brother.
you, RD.
No,
All right,
appreciate
thanks,
you.
guys.
Again, this is about a higher floor. It's not about a higher ceiling, because we're going up against the Jets, who I have been very complimentary of, especially for me as someone who hates the Jets. I think they're better than the Patriots. I think they're up and coming. To be honest, they could be coming next year if Robert Saleh keeps them going. Like, I like what Robert Saleh has done with this team. Obviously, he's not an offensive guy, but just what he's done with the entire team has been good. But we are not trying to beat the Chiefs or something where it's not like we need a high ceiling. Against the Jets, you just want somebody to steer the ship. You want a higher floor than a higher ceiling. Because what you have is you have a guy who's going to probably be average, or you have the mystery box, which is Skylar Thompson. He's a mystery box. He could be really good. He could be really bad. Who knows?
I love to gamble.
Against, yes. Who knew? Who knew? Smoke likes to gamble. That's great. That's the greatest thing I heard today.
You know what?
But-
You know what the best feeling is when you gamble and you hit. Like, could you imagine gambling on Skylar Thompson and hitting?
We already hit with
Oh,
Tua,
God.
baby.
Oh.
I'm chilling.
Clum,
We're good to
I haven't
go.
heard you speak.
I gotta go, but this is
Oh,
fun. I wanted to sit in here
brutal.
and say hi. I don't know.
It's all right. I'll
Yes,
take
sir,
it.
You're welcome
baby.
anytime, brother. Welcome.
I love the
anytime.
hat. I love the hat. Sheesh.
The boys.
Listen.
Hey, wait, question.
He's
because,
repping.
I don't mean to ask you too many questions about your boss, but do you think Dave Portnoy was just salty that the Dolphins are actually a good football team?
I'm gonna head out, boys.
Yeah, he can't speak on that. He can't speak on that.
Nah,
he can
yo,
speak on
Dave
that.
Portnoy's the GOAT. That's a fact. Will
Fact.
Compton's the GOAT. Taylor
Your time.
Do you have to call? Like, did you
time.
put in the contract that you have to call Dave Portnoy the goat,
Bussin'
like the
every
goat?
Tuesday. Make sure you tune in. Year 10 still alive, baby. Have a good day, everyone.
All
wait,
right,
hold
Appreciate you, Clump.
Came on just to shout out Bussin' with the boys. Like, he didn't even talk about the Dolphins. He doesn't even care about the Dolphins anymore. He's just a bussin'. That's what we call him. He's just a bussin'. He's the bus boy. He's the
He's got
bus
kids, he
boy.
likes the bus.
Short bus.
Oh, man, that's great. That's freaking great. Dude, we're almost at the hour mark, and I feel like we had one more thing we wanted to get into. So we just talked about Teddy. I don't think we were really supposed to even talk about that. No, we were. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about, Bobby?
And I mean,
we
we
talked
talked.
about
Another
too
thing
much
was the McDaniel that people are trying to like pin it on
Oh, I don't wanna
McDaniel
spend
and give
time on that. I
McDaniel
don't wanna
grief.
spend
Yeah,
time
I
on
don't
that.
even think it's
It's
worth.
not worth.
it.
It's not worth airtime.
Not
Like,
anymore.
it's not even
Whoa,
worth.
we got 116 people in here. Unreal. Only
Yes,
thing is, we have
sir.
75 likes. Please hit that like button. We got to get 100.
Wait,
There's
the math
116
doesn't
of
add
you.
up there.
We're at 75. Click it, click it, click it, click it. It takes
Listen.
1 second. It helps the channel grow. Gets the video in front of more people. Don't you want to build a community? Don't you guys want to be a part of this? Hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family. Jay's been trying to speak all day, and I've just been like,
No, it's all good. The math's not adding up. That's all I'm saying. The math's not adding up. Listen, I'm not a math. I haven't had to take a math class in a while, but that math's not adding up. So make sure you guys like the video, all that type of stuff. This shit is growing. The community is growing. I love these conversations. Hey, if you didn't know, dislikes help the algorithm. Dislikes help the algorithm too. So like that's fine as well. But I wouldn't do it.
Hey, if you didn't like it, dislike it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. If you like it, like it. It's that simple.
Do
Yeah, have an opinion. Have an opinion.
Have some sack. Have some sack.
When this video goes up, you'll have it as a recording. Leave a comment on your thoughts. Let it be known. Let it be known right now. But yeah, man, this is an up and coming conversation.
An absolutely fantastic hour of Miami Dolphins media coverage. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. It helps so much. You guys have no idea. I mean, the chat has been unbelievable. I love you guys so much. It's unreal. I mean, literally 2 months ago, I think like I had my mom's YouTube log in, so it felt like we had a viewer. And now we have at least 100 people watching live, over 500 comments. Like, thank you guys so much. You have no idea how good it feels to me, Bobby and Jay, to feel like we're actually talking to people that we could relate to. I love each and every single one of you guys so much. You guys are helping us chase our dream and achieve our goals. And without you, we'd be absolutely nothing. So thank you guys so much. And we will be back here Friday, 5 p.m. for Fired Up Friday. We're going to be breaking down the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. Bobby's fingers twitching.
And you better get your confidence up, boys, because I'm coming correct on Friday. Woo.
And as always, fins up.
Fins up, baby.
Fins up.